the complete injury history of OG Anunoby, explained by me, drmoproductions. Quickly! OG, love you. You gotta get rid of those short shorts, man. Why are you running around in boxers? It's weird.
Well, it's kind of weird. My bad.
Serious?
I gotta wear short shorts.
The biggest question on everyone's mind, is OG Anunoby injury prone?
Spaghetti.
November 2016, an itty-bitty 19-year-old OG Anunoby is out on a fast break. He receives the ball and quickly transitions with a power dribble into the smoothest of side steps, sending his defender to the bazaar, as the Turkish like to say, and shows off his athleticism further by completing the sequence with a reverse dunk. So where's the problem? That's what I'm saying, there shouldn't be one. He lets go of the rim with no one in a 2-mile radius, and his body just randomly decides to succumb to gravity and gravity alone. He sustained a high left ankle sprain. A high ankle sprain is an ankle sprain that doesn't actually involve any of the foot bones.
Wow.
It's when you overstretch the ligaments that provide stability between your 2 leg bones. This is less common but more severe than your garden variety inversion sprain. This is the most common mechanism for a high ankle sprain to happen. An external rotating force applied while the foot is in dorsiflexion. This is dorsiflexion. Doing that.
I have never seen your toes nude in public before. It's very unsettling.
I mean, I guess that kind of happened here with OG, but come on. I don't think an elite athlete's ligaments should be bothered by basic forces like this, unless something like heavy attrition is involved. Anunoby ended up returning to play in less than 3 weeks.
Tell me what you need.
But let me just say, this is concerning and a really bad start if you don't want to be labeled as injury prone. A non-contact injury before you could even kick off your career? Well, let's not be too quick to judge and travel ahead a month or two. Spoiler alert, concerns would not be alleviated. January 2017, an absolute career-altering blow. OG Anunoby tears his right ACL just ahead of the NBA draft, and his chapter as an Indiana University Hoosier comes to a premature close. The ACL, or anterior cruciate ligament, runs diagonally in the middle of your knee and prevents your shin bone from sliding out in front of your thigh bone. This is your thigh, this is your shin, this is your ACL. My left elbow is your butt. That's a pretty small butt, not gonna lie, it's kind of embarrassing. Anyway, as you can see, no ACL, no stability. I said career altering, but that was 5 years ago, and OG's a really, really good NBA player right now, so what gives? Ah, yes, good question. I didn't say it was altering in a bad way, did I? This knee injury is the very reason OG is up north in Canada right now. You see, Anunoby was a great lottery prospect, who some projected to go as high as 8th in mock drafts before the injury. Some still had him in the lottery after. He fell all the way to 23rd overall, and Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster snatched him up real quick.
We gotta take OG, guys. Yeah. We gotta get talent, man.
And the Anunoby family seemed to see the silver lining.
I know Toronto was his dream situation.
On to the NBA! Can you like the video first, please, though? It really helps, and these videos really do take a bunch of effort. February 2018, the rookie forward sprained the same ankle back-to-back on the 11th and 28th of this month, missing a half month for each time. I couldn't find any details on this, but the most common way an ankle is sprained is through the anterior talofibular ligament, or ATFL for short. There's no real set-in-stone return times for these injuries. It could take me a month to come back from the sprain that took LeBron James 30 seconds to overcome.
But what about scars?
October 2018, Ogugo suffered an orbital contusion. Fancy way of saying black eye, really.
How is your right eye feeling?
Feels a lot better today.
He'll suffer another one in 2019. I know because I'm not only a doctor, but I also excel in magic. I'm not only a wizard, Harry, I'm very Harry.
The boy with the black eye has come to complete the raccoon style.
March 2019, OG jumps in to draw a charge against the Chicago Bulls, takes a hard fall, as expected, but also has a Brandon Sampson-sized mass partially fall onto his head. He passes concussion protocol, but still apparently has some concussion-like symptoms, so he misses the next game against the NY Knicks. But what even is a concussion? The term concussion is often used in medical literature as a synonym for mild traumatic brain injury, but it is used more specifically to describe the characteristic symptoms and signs that someone might experience after mild TBI. These symptoms could be stuff like nausea, vomiting, dizziness, headaches, fogginess, sensitivity to light, and so forth. The next one is big, so let's keep it moving. April 2019, appendicitis. Wow, you're not gonna hear that one too much in sports injury videos, eh? And 2 days before the playoffs kicked off at that. The playoffs where the Raptors would go on to win their first ever championship too. So if you hear itis at the end of a word, it means that place is inflamed. So in this case, the appendix, which is a little pocket at the beginning of the large intestine, is hosting a rave for immune cells. This might happen due to a blockage blockage in the entrance of that pocket. If the inflamed appendix ruptures and the fun-loving bacteria get to move the party anywhere and everywhere in the abdomen, you're gonna have a problem. And the problem OG did be having. So antibiotics and maybe a sprinkle of surgery and boom, you're good as new. Sadly, he wasn't as good as new yet before his teammates buried the Golden State Warriors in what was the final game played in Oracle Arena in the Bay. I've paid mine to January 2021. We've talked about sprains, but what about I was gonna say, they're basically the same thing. That is the same thing. But what about strains? Strains are basically the same thing as sprains, except it involves the tendon or muscle instead of the ligament. OG missed an even 10 games when he suffered a calf strain last year. The calf muscles flow into becoming your Achilles tendon before attaching themselves to your heel. So you can see why pain around that area could be worrying for an athlete, but the large majority of calf muscle injuries heal uneventfully, albeit across different time spans, depending on the extent of the damage, of course. November 2021, I'm losing my voice at this point. Welcome to the present, the 2021-2022 season. OG kicks off the season with a strong start, averaging a career high 20.1 points across the first 15 games, pretty much making the leap in ability everyone penciled him in to make. Even going into Madison Square Garden to pour in a career high 36 points. But what's an OG Anunoby season without a little sprinkle of bad fortune? He suffers a hip pointer during practice, which is basically a bruise on the side of your hip here. This place is called the iliac crest, and a bunch of muscles attach here. Among them are abdominal muscles that you use while jumping and landing, which makes it a pretty tough injury to try and play basketball through. You kinda just have to wait it out. February 2022, so while literally every part of OG was suffering through injuries throughout his career, his upper extremities were out here watching from the sidelines, like that microwave kid meme. That wouldn't last though, as the ring finger of his shooting hand would get fractured during practice before he was barely out of woods from his hip injury. This would keep him out for a good month before he could return in time for the final stretch of the season, where it was much needed by the Toronto Raptors. That's who it was needed by. To me, injury prone implies someone who sustains injuries where it isn't typically expected. I'm not gonna call someone that broke his leg all 5 times he jumped from the roof of a 3-story building injury prone. I'm just gonna call him a bit dumb. Top of the world! It's a tough label to shake once an athlete gets it slapped onto them, injury prone is, so we should probably be a bit careful while tossing it around. And OG's missed time during his career, which is about a quarter of the games possible, all seems like completely unrelated freak accidents, especially if you take into account the appendectomy, not to even mention his father passing away that same championship season. Also, if someone had like a bad knee and kept on injuring his ankles, his knees, his hips, for sure. But these injuries are just so irrelevant to each other. That being said, I'm not completely free of worry on this front. Not only because we have no idea how a lot of these injuries happen due to them not happening in game on camera, but when you think of those non-contact injuries he sustained in college and also his injuries this season healing slower than expected, you think, hey, maybe there's something to all this injury-prone chatter. Hopefully it's nothing though. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is I don't know, okay? I don't know anything. Leave me alone. More sports injury videos here, NBA channel over here. Trust me, you can't go wrong with either. See you on the other side.